Was Professor Maurice Kamto able to overthrow President Paul Biya through popular uprising? Is going to be the topic for today's edition of Prime Hour. Good evening and welcome to another session of this program. We are going to be discussing this alongside the silence of the international community after an incident happens in the country. With our panelists who are already seated, Alex Ngepi is a militant member of the communication unit of the CRM movement. He is in the studio with us. Good evening, Alex, and welcome.
Bonsoir, les personnes qui nous suivent ce soir.
Also with us representing the Cameroon People's Democratic Movement, the CPDM, is Robert Malamfekedia. Good evening and welcome.
Good evening, sir. Good evening to my co-panelists. Good evening to all our viewers all over the world. This is a pleasure for me to be here again to express my own view and the view of my party with regard to the well-being of our nation and for the well-being of the youth and the young ones yet unborn for tomorrow.
Okay, we also are in the company of Senior Barrister Asho Manuel, the National President of the Reformed Party. Good evening, Barrister, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Kedia. Good evening, Mr. Ngepi. Good evening, lovely televiewers. Today's my birthday. I hope we're going to have a good program.
Hey, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you, Senior Barrister.
Thank you.
Okay, we hope that we are going to celebrate your birthday somewhere after this edition of the program. Also with us, just to tell our televiewers that Fire Tayan was not able to make it to Douala today. He's going to be here tomorrow with us in another edition of the program. But we are also in the company of Padi Asanga, who is a political activist and a member of the STF, Social Democratic Front, based in Germany. Good evening, Paddy.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Hero, and I also want to wish a special greetings to my senior brother, Barrister Ashu, and the panelists from the CRM and from the state party, the Jacobins party, which is the CDM. So I hope that we are going to have a very enriching debate as proposed by you and by Major Prime, the voice of the Anglophones. So anybody who's coming here, he should not come to lie. He should be able to tell our people the truth. And I hope that we are not going to put a needle in front of my mouth. COVID is not transmissible through microphone. So please let me talk.
Okay. Okay, Paddy Asanga, you are going to be talking. I'll start with you, Senior Barrister. How do we justify this move by Professor Maurice Kamto and his party at a time when Cameroon is also faced with many crises across the nation?
Thank you, Mr. Leo, but you ought to have asked that question, channel that question to me.
No, I want to.
Mr.
Okay, you want him to start?
Let him justify the
Oui, Alex, on vous envoie la balle. How do we understand that at this time, Professor Maurice Kamto thinks that the best way to get power is if President Paul Biya holds an election, people should get to the street?
C'est pas ça. Le président Kamto, le président élu, professeur Maurice Kamto, il a clairement dit que si jamais l'action n'est pas de chasser le Biya Paul, alors je ne sais pas si c'est la question qu'il a dit, il faut bien préciser ce qui a été dit.
Il a dit s'il y a élection régionale.
Donc c'est par rapport à cela.
Oui, c'est ça.
Préciser.
Oui, c'est pour ça que je demande pourquoi prendre cette posture maintenant.
Oui, cette posture.
Vous n'avez pas pris pendant les élections municipales et législatives. Pourquoi maintenant?
D'accord, cette posture en fait parce que on s'est dit, nous avons toujours pensé que ceux qui sont aux élections municipales et législatives, peut-être que le peuple camerounais pouvait leur oindre de l'option de souveraineté. Parce qu'on ne peut pas empêcher à ce moment le peuple d'exercer son droit souverain, de choisir ses électeurs. Mais on pouvait informer le peuple, leur dire, vous ne devez pas aller à ces élections, parce que si vous y allez, ceux qui seront choisis, ceux qui seront investis de votre option souveraine, ne vont pas résoudre ces problèmes. Et nous avons activé le mot boycott. Maintenant, il savait donc que le peuple camerounais a suivi le boycott dans sa majorité. Donc ceux qui sont aujourd'hui élus sont mal tenus. Il ne faudrait pas qu'on reste là et qu'on fasse de langue de bois. Au Cameroun, on peut être élu avec 100 voix. On peut être député au Cameroun avec 100 voix. Sur une population de 1 000 habitants, on peut être élu avec 100 voix. Donc, si vous êtes élu avec 100 voix, sur 1 million de personnes, vous serez certes légal, mais vous ne serez pas loin de l'option souveraine du peuple. Dont les 900 000 personnes qui ne vous auraient pas choisi ou qui ne vous auraient pas choisi peuvent donc vous dire c'est assez, il faut arrêter. Donc aujourd'hui, nous pensons au MRC du fait que le peuple camerounais a valablement manifesté sa volonté de ne pas aller aux élections locales et législatives. Il est clair que nous disons donc il serait urgent qu'on puisse discuter entre nous. Ça ne sert à rien d'organiser des élections régionales lorsque les Camerounais déjà n'ont pas choisi véritablement ceux-là qui se réclament être des maires, des députés, des conseillers. Lorsque la crise anglophone continue à perdurer. Donc le programme Kamto demande donc à notre gouvernement, même si pour nous il est illégitime, de ne pas organiser les élections régionales. Il est urgent qu'on discute, qu'on trouve un consensus pour le code électoral. Donc tout le monde ici, nous sommes tous conscients, même le RDP, c'est là souvent, même les CAM l'a dit, que le code électoral actuellement tout est mauvais. Et de deux, qu'on puisse voir par quel moyen est-ce qu'on peut résoudre la crise anglophone. C'est ça qui est la question. Il ne faudrait pas qu'on vienne faire croire aux choses au Cameroun. Ce n'est pas la suite, ce n'est pas la continuité logique du hold-up électoral qui a été activé par le NRC.
Mais ça, c'est le dernier combat.
Non, c'est monsieur, il faudrait qu'on dise aux Camerounais, et je parle sous contrôle de l'avocat qui est ici, c'est que manifester c'est un droit souverain des peuples. Oui, c'est un droit souverain des peuples. Et le peuple en droit, il veut le dire, mettre ici, je dis bien sous son contrôle. Le peuple peut décider de changer leur gouvernement par deux moyens. Le premier moyen, c'est que le peuple, lorsqu'il n'est pas content de notre gouvernement, peut par les voies constitutionnelles et institutionnelles, c'est-à-dire par le mode électoral, changer le gouvernement. Et si le gouvernement qui est mis en place continue à être irresponsable, continue à faire des choses qui ne sont pas en apport avec l'attente du peuple, le peuple peut passer par une manifestation et peut exprimer leur rapport et également changer son gouvernement. Il faudrait qu'on dise au Camerounais que la voie de la manifestation, quand le peuple n'est pas d'accord avec ceux qui le gouvernent, est un acte purement légal parce que la légalité est conférée par le peuple. C'est le peuple souverain.
Oui, mais vous avez beaucoup parlé, non? Oui, plus de 10 minutes. Okay, yes, you have understood. How do we understand this posture at this time?
Well, the first thing we have to understand is that CRM is taking a posture that is ambiguous.
Okay.
Because they are a political party, but they are giving me the impression that they look like a militia. Because a political party is supposed to act in accordance, in conformity with the laws of the land. Article 3 of the Constitution. It's very clear on that point. With all due respect, I want to take a distance from what the previous orator just said. A revolution, I don't buy the idea that a revolution is legal, because a revolution means you are overturning the legal institutions. That cannot be legal. You are torpedoing the existing legal institutions. That one is not legal, sir. If it is legal,
Monsieur
Maître
Achou, la légalité est conférée par le La légalité ici est conférée par le peuple. C'est le peuple qui décide de ce qui est légal ou pas. Vous le savez parfaitement. Donc je ne voudrais pas qu'on tombe dans ce jeu.
Vous êtes venu. Non, s'il vous plaît. Lots and lots of complaints coming from our viewers. Eli, please check the microphones. Something is not right with the sounds. I've received more than 20 messages already complaining about the sound system. Try to fix it. Oui. Allez, s'il vous plaît, quand vous parlez, tout le monde vous a écouté. Il faut le laisser. Go on.
Okay, thank you, sir. You know, in the country of civilized people, we others listen to the others speak without interfering. I was saying that a revolution, with all due respect, is the torpedoing of existing legal institutions. You overturn everything, and that is not legal. It is true that sovereignty belongs to the people, and the people in a democratic setup change their governing body through elections. If you want to change your rulers through another means that is not democratic, sir, that is not legal. Otherwise, I will ask that they show me the provision inside the law that authorizes a revolution. I'll show. If you say it is legal, then why is it a criminal offense to organize an insurrection, which is a revolution? Insurrection in French, that's a revolution. Why is it? Why is it a criminal offense? It's a felony. Kamto was being prosecuted for that. Like whether you say yes or no, but we know your leader went to prison for that. So I am saying that we have a case here where a political party is trying to act like a militia. If you are a militia, then you don't respect the laws. Then you give injunctions to a president. We are seeing a very curious way of political behavior here. That a political party gives a sitting president of the republic an injunction. If you don't do it, I will ask the people to go down and unseat you. That is unheard of. I had said previously that I don't know why these people are tolerating this type of thing, because I mean it is undespicable. You don't understand how a politician who is supposed to act in conformity with the law acts completely on the other side, out of the bounds of the law, and nothing is said or done to him. Now you see, they should learn to do politics. You are either on the legal side or you are on the illegal side. If you want to go and create a militant group somewhere, look for, we have many forests, look for one fine.
My question to you stands, what would justify this posture at this time? Because
they are trying to stay relevant.
Okay.
Because when you look at the 2 points that the president of MRC has put on the table, one, if the Anglophone crisis were not brought to an end, he is not giving you any tangible proposal to bring the Anglophone crisis to an end. He is in fact going back to old soup that we have tasted before. Grand national dialogue. They should bring a national dialogue. National dialogue is not the solution here, because when you look at the causes, the real causes of the problem, this is a problem between two states.
Okay.
Can you allow me to answer? It's a problem between two states because the new family code that is in the Senate.
Yeah, but you've said this severally now.
That code defines Cameroon nationality.
You've said it severally already.
You see, we see clearly that the problem here is that the modus vivendi has to be
looked into. Okay, yes.
You see, Maurice Kamto is a good lecturer and is good at law, but in politics he's a mistake to politics. I think he should apply to the formation center of CPDM, which Ngole is the director there. Because when you see a politician who is powerful in law asking people to go to the street where his children are in France all over enjoying, is enough reason for us to ask question. This same man went in for election 2018. He did not say he will not go for this election until the Anglophone crisis is solved. He went for this election, he failed. When the municipal election and legislative election came, this same man refused that his party should not go to election, because for his self-reason, if it is not Kamto, it's nobody else. The people did not go in for the election. A rumor came out by still him that there will be an unforeseen election, and he asked people to run to go and register. Unfortunately, it's fake. Now there is regional election, he still don't want his own people to go. That is a leader of a political party. What becomes a problem now is him using the Anglophone crisis as a commercial avenue for him to reboost his political party. Let him tell us why he went for presidential election 2018 when the crisis was up. This is a politician that react by instincts because he heard that something happened in Mali, and few hours he get excited and say people should go to the street. When he cannot face a ballot box, a lawyer that knows the law, knows how you get to power, he's asking people's children to go to the street. We people of the Northwest and Southwest are going through pain now, and he thinks the best is to ask them to go again to the street. Those are the questions that he should ask. For me, I think he should go back to school. I have enough study with regards to politics. He's a good lawyer, I acknowledge it. He's a good lecturer, I acknowledge it. But when it comes to politics in the field, he should go get some lesson to be able to empower himself. Because actually what he is doing is not politics. He breaches the law which he is there to defend. When I get a communique of his party saying that it is legal for people to go to the street and remove a legal president, I ask myself question. Children studying law in the various university, what would they think about Professor Maurice Kamto? Those are the questions we ask. When you say going into the street to remove an elected democratic president, those are the questions we should be asking. For me, I think he should just go and prepare and wait for an election of 2025. Because even the regional election he is talking about, he does not have any elected official. His party is more or less a civil society now. There is no elected official in that party. So he knows that there is nothing for him in this election. That is why he will come and say people should not. On which base, on which authority, who voted him? Who is he representing? Okay. Who is he talking on behalf of who?
Paddy Asala, you are certainly following up discussions out here. Professor Maurice Kamto says he does not want elections to hold, actually asking the President of the Republic not to do that, except the problems in the Northwest and Southwest regions are fixed. Now, as he has no stakes in the regional elections because he did not take part in the municipal and legislative elections, under what powers is he standing to ask for the regional elections not to hold?
Mr. Leo, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak, and please don't put a mask in front of my mouth. Listen, Maurice Kamto has turned his political party to a church. And only what he says counts, and the people that follow him. I'm not talking about MRC militants. Those people whom you hear repeating what Maurice Kamto say like parrots, they are fanatics. They are members of his church. Maurice Kamto is telling people to come out and go and march. Do you think that Celestine Germain will follow that bluff and go and be shot again just for Maurice Kamto to abandon this other guy, Mamadou Mota, in prison? Have you heard the outings of Celestine Germain? Who are they going to lead? Who is going to go out there? Have you heard the way the members of his church, not members of MRC, have tried to castigate Emmanuel Kounia and everybody who has been criticizing Maurice Kamto? It is a bluff. It is a big bluff, and Maurice Kamto is one of those persons. He's talking about Anglophone crisis. If there are 2 people or 3 people that hate Anglophone in that Cameroon, the first one is Mr. Biya, the second is Maurice Kamto, and the third is Aya Paul Abine, his partner. Ask me why, and I will tell you.
Please,
this is
we are not talking Aya Paul yet today, please.
10-state federation, from 10-state federation to Ambazonia, and from Ambazonia to Cantonia. It doesn't work that way, my brother. You cannot hate a people to that degree, and then you want to use them like your political guinea pigs. It doesn't work. Let me prove to you that Maurice Kamto and his allies, they hate Anglophone with passion, and I will prove to you. In 2017, when the Anglophone crisis started, what happened? Francophones like Nietzsche, Dieudonné Ebuga, Kawala, they wanted a spillover so that it should be a concern for all Cameroonians. Maurice Kamto, for his hatred
and his support for Jacobinism to protect the French hegemony, he said, La politique ne se faisait pas dans la rue. All the members of his church followed him, and most Francophones refused to come out to join that march with that was called by Ninche Kawala and Jodone Ebga. It did not end there. It did not end there, Leo. I don't like when people pretend. Maurice Kamto is trying to position himself as the liberator of Cameroon, as the Mandela in Cameroon. But in 2018, this same Maurice Kamto whom we are talking about, he said that when they were manifesting against the constitutional modification that some call a meurtre de la faim, he went and supported Mr. Biya. It is written in a newspaper. If that thing is a lie, he should sue that newspaper. They call him the Pope of Law. We should stop deceiving the Anglophone people. It did not end there. It did not end there, my brothers and sisters. Maurice Kamto, when he went, he's talking about the Anglophone crisis. When he came out here, he refused to receive the Anglophone that they call themselves Ambazonian, just because he wanted to play the game of the French and be seen as somebody who is neutral. But when he gets back to Cameroon, he wants to tap into that sentiment. It is not correct. We have to denounce this, and this your platform is the voice of the Anglophone, and people like Maurice Kamto, impostors like Maurice Kamto, should stop using our blood and tears to play political games. We are not their guinea pigs. It did not end there. They are calling us Sardinard and all sorts of names. Do you know that a minister is a politician? If you appointed a minister, you can be a civil servant, as a diplomat or whatsoever. I don't know, and I want to know, if Maurice Kamto's wife is eating sardine and Maurice Kamto is eating achu or taro, as they call it. This is dishonesty at the highest level, and these are proof enough for you to see that Maurice Kamto hates Anglophone, and if not Cameroonians. What happened? Look around, look at his entourage. 2017, everybody was refusing that they should not sign what they call the APE, les accords de partenariat politique. His ally, Abezonga, Pendaikoka, they went and signed it because they were planning that after Mr. Biya, it will be them. And now they want to take over that bad system that they have implanted, and but counting on other people's children to go and die. Do you think that Celestine Germain and Ndoki will want to be shot again, whereas they should have been in parliament and trying to see how they will solve the Anglophone crisis with other parliamentarians? The last point to show you how Maurice Kamto hates Anglophones even more than Mr. Biya. Some Ambazonians also said it, and I concur with them. When the SDF was marching in parliament, singing "We must kill retire, we must kill retire," what did Maurice Kamto tell his lone parliamentarians who was in the parliament in the name of Soblazar? Did he ever say anything when they were going to march in Boya, in Bamenda? Did you ever see that Maurice Kamto Soblazar join those parliamentarians who were both Francophones and Anglophones of the SDF? This is to tell you that Maurice Kamto is an impostor, and no Anglophone should listen to him. Members of his church who call themselves Tonchina, they can go and march. But MRC people, whom I have my friends there, I don't think they will follow that call. And if my brother Njamen or Merton Doki, my friend, becomes the head of that party, things will change. But not that impostor that you people are calling Maurice Kamto. Thank you.
Thank you. Padia Saga, will be coming back to you. Certainly, vous avez beaucoup de choses à dire. Hein? Je ne sais pas s'il faut préciser. But my question to you is, Maurice Kamto says that if these regional elections are called, Cameroonians should take to the streets to topple President Paul Biya. What is Professor Maurice Kamto counting on? Vous ne voulez pas...
Non, sincèrement, je suis pour parler du nom du MRC.
Ok, allez-y.
Il y a des choses qui ont été dites sur ce plateau que je ne vais pas laisser passer.
Okay.
D'abord, je tiens à rappeler que mon grand frère, Maître Achouabor, qui se veut être un maître dans l'art de faire la politique, je ne pense pas qu'il ait été élu. Je ne sais pas à quelle année il a été élu. Il faut être un art, pour être quelqu'un qui connaît si bien faire la politique. Il ne sait même pas s'il a même un siège. Aussi, pour me montrer 100 cartes de militants de son parti, pour lui donner les leçons au MRC, ou bien sûr, le président Kamto, qui, d'après leurs résultats, arriver deuxième dans leurs élections. Donc déjà, il faut lui rectifier cela. Et aussi à mon transfuge du RDPC qui est en face, qui a de cela quelques... sur ce même plateau...
Non, please. Non, que j'ai eu ma carte. Non, Robert.
Come now, you answer him.
Non, je vais donc dire à ce transfuge du RDPC qui est là, qui est là presque 6 mois, moins de 6 mois, dans ce même plateau, il était en train de tirer à boulet rouge sur le RDPC, et il avait effet et cause pour la prise anglophone. Aujourd'hui, il a osé dire dans ce plateau qu'il y a la paix au Nozo. Il dit que Maurice Kamto est en train de vouloir ramener le désordre dans le Nozo, qui est la paix. Il y a de cela quelques 3 mois, 6 mois, ce même monsieur ici traitait M. Biapol de vampire. Il traitait M. Biapol de bandit. Et aujourd'hui, il ose donc dire le contraire. Je vais donc dire, c'est un peu cela qui dérange. Et l'autre monsieur aussi là, qu'on se rend parfaitement compte de ses positions, qui estime, qui vient de dire des mensonges assez grossiers, parce que quand il dit que en 2017, il y a eu la paix, que le MRC, via l'enthousiasme de Albert Zongan et du président Koka aurait signé la paix. Je ne sais pas quel statut d'avait pour signer les accords d'APE. D'ailleurs même, le MRC a toujours été contre les APE, parce que le MRC a toujours estimé que pour qu'il y ait APE, pour que le Cameroun puisse aller dans cette voie, il faudrait d'abord que le Cameroun puisse produire. On ne peut pas signer des accords avec l'Union européenne lorsqu'on ne produit rien. Ce n'est pas productif pour le peuple camerounais. Donc venir ici là dire que le MRC aurait soutenu cela, je dis, il faudrait un moment que les gens qui veulent prendre mon grand frère, Cestin Jamen, comme exemple, je ne voudrais pas qu'ils viennent dans ce plateau commencer à dire n'importe quoi et ils vont dire qu'on ne va pas le mettre, je sais pas, le mouchoir, s'il a besoin de mouchoir dans leur bouche pour empêcher de dire certaines choses. Et je voudrais aussi dire que j'ai également suivi dans ce plateau par ce même monsieur qui dit qu'il y a eu une marche pour soutenir la cause anglophone avec Nietzsche, l'honorable Nietzsche, avec Kawala et consorts. Je me rends compte qu'il est tellement mal informé que malgré le fait qu'ils ont mis les téléphones des militants du MRC, du président du MRC sur écoute, ils n'arrivent pas à regrouper la bonne information. Ce dont il semble ignorer, c'est que cette marche-là avait bel et bien eu lieu et que Médal Hipote du MRC était présent, Alain Foguet y était, ils ont été arrêtés, ils ont été fouettés. Il semble ignorer de le dire. Et que jusqu'à nos jours, le MRC, avec Kawala et d'autres partis politiques, ont toujours dénoncé tous les abus qu'on faisait contre le peuple anglophone. Ce qui dérange aujourd'hui, c'est quoi? On a des individus qui veulent trahir le peuple anglophone. On a des individus qui pensent que M. Biapol est indétrônable, que M. Biapol est celui qui doit rester au pouvoir à vie jusqu'à sa mort. Et ces individus-là sont en train de négocier les places avec le RDPC. Et bien sûr, ils vont se servir des médias aussi sérieux comme Prime TV pour venir ventiler leur haine avec le peuple anglophone et avec le peuple camerounais. Et pour chuter, pour venir sur Maître. Maître, tout à l'heure, je suis un peu déçu qu'un si brillant avocat comme Maître, d'abord il faut rappeler que M. Kamto, le professeur Kamto est le formateur des formateurs de vos formateurs en droit, vous le savez bien. Donc vous ne pouvez pas venir sur ce plateau, vous en tant qu'avocat, venir mettre en doute la capacité du président Kamto à analyser sur les questions du droit. Je vais dire et mettre de c'est. Dans la charte des Nations Unies, il est dit, il le sait parfaitement, le peuple est souverain. Et ce que le peuple décide devient légal. Si le peuple décide de sortir, manifester, ça devient un acte légal. La volonté du peuple est un acte souverain et cet acte devient légal. Donc il ne faudrait pas que Maître ici vienne nous parler de la constitution camerounaise qui ne permettrait pas cela. Je vais dire à Maître que dans les principes de la démocratie, il est dit, l'ordre gouvernant devrait permettre à tout peuple d'exprimer ses choix par la voie d'élection ou par la voie de la manifestation. Cela entre dans les principes démocratique. Et le MRC est un parti socio-libéral, comme même le Cameroun. Dans ce qui fait l'idéologie du Cameroun, on distingue un État social, libéral et laïque. Et c'est bien ce que le MRC est. Donc vous comprenez, donc, quand on parle de libéralisme ou du social, on parle là de démocratie. Donc maître, s'il vous plaît, je comprends que vous avez une dent énorme contre le MRC, ce jeune parti politique qui est arrivé et qui, voilà, avec le président Kamto, qui est votre confrère. Qui
ça va finir parce que...
Oui, qui réussit à faire des choses dont vous n'avez pas pu le faire.
Mais,
et que vous venez
répondez quand même brièvement.
Est-ce
que le président Kamto peut faire ce qu'il est en train de dire, parce que it's an ultimatum that he has given to President Paul Biya, and from every indication, regional elections are going to hold. Has he gotten what it takes to take Cameroonians to the streets?
Je vais vous dire quelque chose.
Who is he counting on? His militants or Cameroonians?
Je vais vous dire quelqu'un t'a dit Kamto est qui? C'est très surprenant qu'une personne du RDPC ose le dire. Lorsque nous savons que quand le professeur Kamto éternue, le RDPC se met à trembler de partout. Et quand ils viennent Kamto est qui? Et quand on se rend même compte qu'ils ont passé le temps à sortir, si Kamto n'était rien, et si le MNC était un petit parti politique, nous l'avons souvent dit, je ne sais pas pourquoi ils font ce qu'ils font dans ce plateau.
On
ne s'est pas fait débat. Donc c'est pour dire quoi? Nous le mettons au défi. Soit dans la 5e. Il y a bel et bien un maire RDPC qui a été élu, n'est-ce pas? Moi, Alex Guépi, je mets au défi le RDPC dans la 5e de nous autoriser à organiser seulement une petite manifestation. Alors il faut
non, vous n'êtes pas en train de... Est-ce que le professeur Kamto compte sur qui? Les militants?
Je suis en train de vous répondre. Oui. De vous répondre. Si vous voulez savoir sur qui compte,
oui.
Je vous dis que le RDPC nous autorise à organiser une manifestation ici à Douala 5e ou dans la ville de leur choix. Alors, ils vont juger d'eux-mêmes de voir ce que le MRC compte. Le MRC compte sur les Camerounais parce que les Camerounais sont frustrés, parce que les Camerounais ont assez du régime Diapol, au même titre que nos francophones ont assez du régime Diapol. Alors, aujourd'hui, le MRC est le parti qui dit avant haut ce que les Camerounais pensent tout bas. Donc, s'ils estiment que le professeur Kamto ne peut pas le faire, alors nous demandons donc d'aller aux élections régionales.
C'est 10 minutes déjà, hein. Et quand les autres vont parler 5 minutes, vous allez vous plaindre. Okay, now can he do it? Can he do what he's saying?
Thank you. Before I answer that one, just permit me to answer the things that I heard from this side. I think that it's a very known thing that when a young man washes his hands clean, he can dine with princes and kings. So when a young man comes to an arena that is new to him, he should learn. I would just advise this young man, because he was saying things which he doesn't know. He was asking questions. I think he wants to be informed. For your information, sir, this man sitting here started politics in 1985. He was one of the founding fathers of SDF, if you know. You are in Cameroon. The 1990 laws were ASHU laws, if you don't know. I'm the first Cameroonian of the opposition to organize a political rally in this country. So when you start talking, when they start doing politics, go and look at the SDF constitution. Oops, just sit quiet. Let me tell you. You wanted to talk.
Let me
tell you, sir.
Let me tell you, Monsieur Diapol est toujours là. Donc vous n'avez pas de leçon.
You listen. I have nothing to teach you. I will teach you. Now, I drafted the SDF constitution. Sit quiet. Listen. I drafted the SDF constitution. You are just show me the one that Kamto drafted. I am
Monsieur Diapol est toujours là avec votre expérience, oui ou non? Voilà la question.
Somebody said that CRM is a church. I think I'm tempted.
Mais c'est toi qui poses des questions, c'est moi, non, monsieur Alex.
You will not allow me to correct you. You listen to me talk. Now, you see, he doesn't know how this country is working. He has no information, and that is how members of his party work. Now, let me come to your leader. You said your leader teaches who people who teach us. I'm sorry for you, sir. It looks like you don't even know who your leader is. Your leader is a professor at public law. He's a professor. Do you know how many domains of law exist? I am a senior barrister at law. You know what that is? ask Kamto to come and enter the Cameroon Bar Association. We shall show him his position. Because you just sit there, you give him titles, Pope of Law. He's Pope of which law? Let him enter the Cameroon Bar Association. We shall show him his position at the tail of the table.
Give back to Cameroon.
He will realize that
he gives back to Cameroon.
Don't tell lies. Don't tell lies. Kamto met. You see, these are lies that I don't like people to be telling. Kamto met a commission in which there was P1 Ntamak. You know who P1 Ntamak was? Ntamak taught Diongute. Ntamak taught Munzu and all the others. Anyango them all. Ntamak even taught Kamto. So Kamto knows more than his professor. Look at these people. You just tell lies, and because people don't say anything, you think it's true. Ntamak was Kamto was one member out of about 25 of them who were there. And you carry everything on the head, say Kamto. He is a distinguished professor. You say he's trainer. Sorry, I am trainer of trainer in Ohada laws. Can he also come and start to talk Ohada laws with me? Let him come. We go to the courts. Let's go to the court and I'll see how Kamto will stand me. I'm the only lawyer in this country who has entered the special criminal court and come out with a big gun. Show me one person that Kamto has released from prison. Talk at me something. You go and talk nonsense, people don't answer, you think that you are right. Now, I'll come back now to the question. Can Kamto do what he is pretending to do? Of course, he cannot do it because it is pretentious. This man thinks that people should see him as the messiah of Anglophone. Sorry, this is the very man who went to Canada. Anglophone wanted to see him. He refused to receive them. Have you ever heard in this country that Ashu? Oh, look at this one. Look at this one.
Répondez.
Look at this one.
Vous ambazoniens?
You don't even know the history of Cameroon. Ambazonians are Southern Cameroonians. I feel sorry for you. They are Cameroonians. Have you seen their passports? They all have Cameroon passports. So stop telling lies here. He refused to receive his brothers in Canada, and now he wants to champion their cause. Okay, he is an expert at constitutional at public law. Why doesn't he tell the truth about the Anglophone situation? Why? He wants decentralization. Can Kamto be better than Biya? I'm sorry. He will be worse than Biya. So I am saying that Mr. Kamto is looking for a better place under the sun. He wants to be seen as a messiah. Any Anglophone who follows him is doing so at his own risk and peril. This man can, I want to buy the position of Padi Asanga. I'm telling you because this is a church.
Okay, now popular uprising will lead certainly to violence, though I'm sure it's calling for a non-violent move to oust President Paul Biya. Who takes responsibility? We see where Cameroon is in the northwest and southwest regions. If it should start here, who will bear that responsibility? Or is it possible to engage in such a move, void of violence in Cameroon?
Before I answer your question, please, I would like to talk to Mr. Ngepi. When he says that somebody once said that Paul Biya is a vampire, I hope he has video and he has information to accuse someone that someone said on a platform that Paul Biya is a vampire. If he does not have it, then he should not attack people's integrity and personality when he cannot defend it.
Et quand tu attaques Kamto, son intégrité,
tu
réfléchis avant de le faire?
All right. Coming back to the reality.
Tu te plains quand tu réponds?
Coming back to the question, it is shameful when a member of a political party says if RDPC give them authorization. Is it now a party giving authorization to a party? We have the deals, they are there, administrators are there, they are the ones that give authorization.
Mais c'est vous l'administration, non?
Et donc,
ils sont à votre service.
You see how Cameroonians are ignorant. Vous êtes très ignorant dans la politique, monsieur. Vous êtes très ignorant dans la politique. Vous êtes très ignorant. Monsieur, vous êtes très ignorant. Vous êtes très ignorant. Vous êtes très ignorant de la politique. Quand tu dis les administrateurs, il n'y a pas les ministres des opposants.
Lequel?
La femme de votre boss, c'est qui? Et les autres?
Merci, j'ai compris.
Et à par rapport de l'autre là, même parlons des administrators. Talking about administrators. Are you saying that all administrators in this country are of the CPDM? Why do you say things as if you
please answer my question? Answer my question.
And then you talk as if you drank something before coming here. Going back to your question, Kamto, no need about talking about if thing. It cannot happen. He does not. He cannot even. He came the last time and said, j'ai tiré le penalty, j'ai marqué, blah, 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 blah. What happened? Nothing happened. And nothing will never, ever happen. Nothing will never, ever happen. So there is no need. You see, when he said that if the CPDM,
I want us to look at the possibility, because the question is, can Kamto push Biya out of power through popular uprising? Who takes the responsibility? Is the MRC ready to take upon itself to engage Cameroon into another front?
You see, we have fronts that our militaries are doing the best. I would like to applaud the people of Fundong that came out in their masses to collaborate with the military. We have problems in the north, and we are dialoguing to ensure that peace comes. Cameroon Renaissance movement is not even something we should be discussing about. They discuss about it in TV station because TV stations invited communicators of the party, and when they come and they discuss about it. So it's not even important that we should discuss about it. They should rather go and re-strategize and prepare for 2025 rather than making noise, because even the regional election, they have nothing. When we talk about a political party, in particular about influence, that is a root, a base. They don't even have any base. If you ask SDF, where is your base, they'll tell you. If you ask any party, they'll tell you. They don't have any base, they don't have anything, nothing. So, when you see them coming to make themselves to be known, maybe to gain something behind, that is what they do. But the honest truth is, they cannot do it. People will not even go out. He said it the last time we saw the child going out of the country. So he wants the children of who to go to the street. Nobody will go. So you should not even ask me that. Is it possible? Because it cannot happen. Cameroonians cannot even go.
Okay, Cameroonians cannot go. Padi Asanga, I don't know whether you buy the position of Kedia Roberts, but my question to you is, when you look at the CPDM that is in power today and maybe other political forces, you think that Professor Maurice Kamto can match a population that would overthrow the president of the republic, who is chairman of the ruling CPDM party? Is the CPDM party going to watch the MRC overthrow them?
Let me tell you something, Mr. Leo, and I'll be very, very frank to you. What Kamto is doing, he's a sacred agent of the French, that they are using him to distract Cameroonians from the real issues. Maurice Kamto is trying to do what happened in Burkina Faso, la révolution à la Burkinabé. Enlever Paul pour remplacer à Maurice, du bonnet blanc, blanc bonnet. So, when he went to France, you saw the flag that he had behind him. He's the only person who comes out here, and then you see the Cameroonian flag and the French flag. Every other person does it differently. But let me not go that road. I just want to let our people get some truth here. The Frenchman, the Francophone who was speaking there in French, and has not made any effort to talk to in English, because they think that they can be so condescending and say everything and just claiming that it's a lie, it's a lie, it's a lie. But tell me the difference between an NGO, non-governmental organization, a church, and a political party. If somebody tells me that definition, that would be the definition of the movement that Maurice Kamto is leading. I'm not talking about the MRC that was created by a certain Hubert, somebody like that, with Fogue and the rest, that has been transformed to a church. And I insist, it is a church. I want to tell our people the truth, because one thing about me, you might hate me or you might like me, but I'll say it as it is. He said that Maurice Kamto is whatsoever. Remember that you should Anglophones, open your ears. When I open your ear, they hear fine. Secretary General for Maurice Kamto a party. Na anglophone we name na Christophe Andong. C'est un anglophone qui s'appelle Christophe Andong. Allez lire les lettres de Tassang Wilfred. You should go and read the letters that was written by Tassang Wilfred. That Christophe Andong came and met Ayub Tabe in prison, asking them to give them a letter of clemency so that the MSC should go and give to Mr. Biya. It is not Padi Asanga who is talking. I am here to refresh people's memory. Please. Let us be honest. Then when you listen to Abel Zonga, when you listen to politicians, go to their past, research all what they have been saying on the same subject. Then you understand exactly who they are. Don't take what they are saying right now for Agent Content. Listen to Abel Zonga. Abel Zonga, when he, after prison, he went to Indepanda and he was standing in front of a crowd in the night. He said, ce que nous avons gagné, c'est qu'on a eu le rattachement avec le leadership des Ambazoniens, Ayuk Taken. Somebody was even correcting him just to tell you how corrupt and fraudulent these people are. That thing is on record. So that man who is sitting there, he's just another program parrot who has been sent to come and repeat things and be saying all what he's saying. But it does. I'm not here to romance Mr. Biya's government, that young man who is sitting there and saying that Maurice Kamto cannot do this. They have used Maurice Kamto to distract the opposition because we wanted a spillover effect. And that's why we're calling Francophones to join us to march in solidarity. I can understand why Barrister Ashu is very, very angry now with Maurice Kamto and the MRC. It is because they have the same clients, they have the same audience. Do you know that Barrister Ashu might end up like this Barrister Fujon, so because they are wooing Ambazonia? If Kamto is fighting to get Ambazonia through Ayuk Seseko Tabe, as Tassan said, and Barrister Ashu is promoting war draft, then you will know why they are fighting themselves. So we are caught in the middle. So Maurice Kamto, I like to see that fight between Kamto and Reform Party where Barrister Ashu is boxing them and they are boxing themselves. I'm here to say the truth because at the one hand, Barrister Ashu is with war draft and at the other hand, Kamto is with Seseku and those other people who are sitting in prison. So Maurice Kamto cannot give injunctions to anybody because those people who even gave some momentum with to MRC or to Maurice Kamto have fallen out with Maurice Kamto. People like Njamen, who are politically sound-minded people. People like Maître Michel Ndoki, who are loved by the Cameroonian people, but his members of his church or his non-governmental organization have vilified and abused them.
Okay, buddy.
They are trying to use Anglophone like their political guinea pigs.
Okay.
Please don't call me Leo.
Lan, okay, go on, Lan.
I told you that when I start talking, you people always cut me because you say diaspora has nothing to say. But the diaspora has destabilized Cameroon.
Okay, Paddy, we are coming right back to you. Sûrement, oui.
Oui, je vais dire d'abord quelque chose. Avant de répondre à cet individu qui se trouve du côté de...
C'est Paddy Asanga.
Oui, l'Allemand. J'aurais aimé qu'il vienne dire ça ici au Cameroun devant nous. Et comme tout le monde, comme nous le faisons, c'est très facile qu'il se cache là-bas et qu'il commence à dire...
Non, il était là,
Ok, oui, mais maintenant, ça se justifie. Ça se justifie pourquoi est-ce qu'il est en train de tellement de supporter le RDPC pour avoir sa... J'espère au moins qu'il sera nommé ministre dans le prochain gouvernement. Et qui va continuer à trahir le peuple anglophone. Écoutez, tout à l'heure, j'ai suivi Maître Achou dire que le dialogue national n'est pas le problème, n'est pas la solution. Alors j'aurais aimé qu'il donne la solution. Il dit, ce n'est pas la solution. Waouh. C'est dit donc, Maître Achou, on va donc comprendre pour vous prendre des armes comme les Ambazoniens ont pris, serait la solution. Donc nous comprenons maintenant de quel bord vous appartenez. Et ceci étant dit, je voudrais aussi dire que dans ce plateau, je me rends compte que on a des gens qui sont c'est-à-dire que on a l'impression que les gens se contredisent. Les gens se contredisent. Les gens disent, on doit prendre nos frères francophones doivent marcher, être aux anglophones pour marcher chasser Paul Biya. Alors ils disent que non, laissez les francophones seuls marcher. Laissez Maurice Kamto seul, il peut faire. Mais écoutez, on ne va pas continuer dans cela à jouer avec le peuple camerounais. Le peuple camerounais est assez mature. Et Maître Achou, vous devez arrêter d'être votre névrosité avec Kamto. Je me suis rendu compte tout à l'heure que vous avez un problème particulier avec le professeur Kamto. Je comprends qu'il est votre aîné dans le domaine du droit et que ce que Kamto a fait, vous n'avez jamais fait.
Corrigez-vous,
vous ne pouvez pas le faire dans le domaine du droit.
D'avocature.
Non, pas avocature, pas du droit, dans la globalité. Je comprends cela. Je comprends aussi que vous êtes père fondateur du SDF, mais seulement vous n'avez pas réussi à prendre le pouvoir malgré votre victoire volée en 92. Monsieur Biapol est toujours là. Donc je vous prierai de venir ici donner des leçons sur ce qu'est fait la politique, car vous avez échoué. Cette votre génération que vous représentez aujourd'hui, est-ce que nous ne voulions plus au Cameroun? Cette génération-là que vous êtes en train de représenter, c'est ceux-là qui viennent dire aux Camerounais comment faire la politique. Et quand un Camerounais est courageux, quand un parti politique porte les attentes du peuple camerounais en face, les revendications du peuple camerounais, au lieu que vous souteniez cela, afin qu'on puisse chercher le bien-être des populations, mais vous passez le temps à vous monter contre le MRC, contre la vraie opposition. Je comprends très bien vos positions. Ceci étant dit, il faut encore revenir sur l'appel du président Maurice Kamto. Hein, dire aux Camerounais, j'aime toujours citer une anecdote. Lors du discours d'investiture d'Abraham Lincoln, en 1861, il dit ceci, par les États-Unis: ce pays et tout ce qui y vivent vous appartient. Quand vous ne serez plus en accord avec l'ordre gouvernant, vous aurez le droit, vous aurez le choix de le changer, soit en utilisant votre droit institutionnel par des élections, soit en utilisant votre droit démocratique par le soulèvement populaire. Ça veut donc dire quoi? En démocratie, le peuple a deux façons de sanctionner ses dirigeants. Deux façons. Dans les urnes. Et c'est parce que dans les urnes et par la manifestation. C'est parce que le peuple peut sanctionner les dirigeants dans les urnes que le MRC demande donc à l'ordre gouvernant de mettre sur pied un code électoral consensuel, afin que le peuple puisse user de ce droit-là, de sanctionner l'ordre gouvernant. Mais l'ordre gouvernant, comme ils ne veulent pas le faire, ils estiment qu'ils vont usurper la fonction souveraine qu'a le peuple camerounais. Alors, le peuple camerounais donc peut utiliser la manifestation, le soulèvement populaire. Et c'est ça qu'ils ont peur. Qu'on dise bien aux Camerounais, manifester si jamais si jamais M. Biya décide de convoquer l'élection régionale, c'est un droit démocratique. Est-ce que vous avez ce droit?
Est-ce que je peux vous relancer? Mais Kawala a toujours demandé ça depuis. Pourquoi est-ce que vous ne l'avez pas rejoint depuis qu'elle a appelé à ça?
Vous savez, Kawala qui est nous sommes travaillés ensemble avec Kawala, bien évidemment, a toujours demandé cela, mais d'une autre façon. Nous mettons les préalables. Kawala a sa stratégie.
Elle a même refusé que vous n'allez pas aux élections 2018.
S'il vous plaît, monsieur Léonard. Kawala a pris part aux élections avant, n'est-ce pas? Elle était quand l'élection présidentielle. C'est au fond de cette expérience-là que Kawala a compris qu'aller aux élections, ça ne servait à rien. Le MRC est allé aux élections présidentielles. Notre victoire a été volée, comme celle du SDF a été volée en 92. Donc, c'est fort de cette expérience-là que le MRC a compris qu'aller aux élections ne servait plus à rien. Tant que le code électoral qui existe aujourd'hui continue à exister, tant que la crise anglophone n'est pas résolue. Et je vais donc dire au peuple anglophone de prendre à témoin ce qui se passe. Ces anglophones-là, qui hier étaient avec eux, étaient en train de leur supporter, aujourd'hui se retournent leur veste et viennent dire dans un plateau sérieux qu'on félicite l'armée camerounaise car il fait un bon boulot au Nozo. Mais mon cher représentant du RDPC, cette armée qui fait un bon travail au Nozo, c'est quoi? C'est un gabou? C'est d'aller massacrer le peuple camerounais en gabou? C'est de créer des déportés? De voir si vous félicitez, vous autrefois, vous étiez en train, nous n'insultons pas l'armée, nous disons ceci. Vous aujourd'hui, vous êtes en train de dire, vous dites ceci, que l'armée va faire un bon boulot. Nous disons ceci. Dans cette armée-là, il y a les brebis galeuses. Et nous avons dénoncé ici, dans ce plateau, j'ai dit dans ce plateau, que Ngabou est un massacre que l'armée camerounaise a commis. Et vous venez aujourd'hui dire au peuple anglophone que l'armée camerounaise fait du bon boulot.
Pas le peuple anglophone.
Vous
dites que l'armée ne fait rien, n'est-ce pas? Le MRC dit que l'armée ne fait rien. Le MRC est en train d'insulter l'armée camerounaise.
Okay, please, let us be orderly. Now, Professor Maurice Kamto says they should not go for elections, municipal and legislative elections. C'est ça, notre parti. And others went because they believe that they have a project. They went for municipal, and now regional elections is indirect elections. How do you stop what you are not even a part of now?
Thank you, Mr. Leo. again, I want to just clear the table.
Okay.
We remember very well that we are here on this table, we are on this platform. We have seen clearly that some people want to whitewash CRM and make the people believe that this is a Messiah party. This is fake. I say it is fake. Now, Mr. Kamto has no political foresight. I will just give you a simple example. This is the same person. He went down, he's gone down a record as having seized the parliament in writing, saying that Mr. Biya was dead. They should, there's vacancy at the presidency.
They should get to the Constitutional Council.
They should go to Constitutional Council,
yes,
and
vacancy.
Kick off the mechanism for replacing the president. Now, the same man is coming now to unseat the person he said was dead. Hey, Massa, you call that consistency? He has no foresight. He has no consistency. Now, let us come now to the politicking itself. You said, if I have lessons, let me teach you. I will teach you the lessons here. Now, politicking itself, a political party is known by its manifesto. Can you give me, if I'm mistaken, you correct me, can you give me the solution that Mr. Kamto's party has to bring an end to corruption in Cameroon? 1, to solve unemployment in Cameroon. 2, I'm talking from a political manifesto that all of them have. Do you have a solution to end unemployment in this country?
Bien sûr.
Yes,
nous avons.
You have a solution to end corruption in this country.
Nous avons une solution.
You have a solution to end misappropriation of public funds.
Nous avons une solution.
You said when you were politicking.
Ils peuvent le donner. Donne-moi, je voulais
when you were politicking, you
je voulais donner la solution. Nous avons un projet de société, monsieur Léo. Nous pensons, non, permettez pour une question.
Let to wait for your turn.
Non, mais il ne faut pas qu'ils disent de
wait for your turn. When you were talking, I sat quiet for you and listen to you. Now when I'm talking, you the son of a professor, you don't know how to learn from your professor.
Vous êtes là depuis 20 ans, 30 ans pour la politique. Monsieur Biya est au pouvoir. C'est une honte.
Your leader was a minister of Mr. Biya.
Mais dites, c'est une honte.
Your leader was a minister
Vous
of
dites, vous êtes un grand politicien depuis 30 ans. Mais monsieur Biya est toujours au pouvoir. C'est une honte.
What do you want to teach us? Your leader is
voilà la réalité.
Your leader was a minister.
Malgré vos projets politiques, avez-vous réussi à prendre le pouvoir? Non. Vous n'avez pas réussi à le faire. Vous ne pouvez pas donner des leçons.
Monsieur Alex, Monsieur Alex,
you're talking, you make noise so that they don't bring a party down to where it belongs. Allow me finish.
Monsieur Alex, non, please.
D'accord.
S'il vous plaît.
Now he wants to give us this. Let me remind you that your president was a minister who worked under Biya. I want to remind you that your minister's wife is the closest collaborator of the president's wife. I want to remind you.
Je veux parler. Tu vas pas parler.
Comme tu veux.
Bien sûr.
Look at me well. I want which market. Sorry. I want to remind you that your president's daughter is one of the closest friends of the president's daughter. You want to talk again? 1, 2, 3. The coincidence is too much. And you want to come and tell us that you are not eating. And then look, he was asked to go write penal code. Look at the small volume like this, 40. How many billion, Massa?
Dites-moi.
Leave him now, leave him.
Vous êtes avocat.
Let me come now and answer my question. I've asked you to just bear your suffering in silence, sir. Let me finish. Because I know that it will always prick you. But the truth has to be said. Thank you. Now you ask the question whether they are capable of doing anything. You see?
No. Normally, to be able to take part in regional elections, they were supposed to have taken part in municipal legislative elections.
Yes, sir.
They did not go.
They didn't.
Now, this has to do with persons who are already having municipal councillors.
I said here that he was struggling to remain relevant.
Okay.
He was struggling to remain relevant because, as you rightly point out, he will not be an actor if elections are called. So he wants to remain relevant. He was even trying to attack me and say, your party, please.
Mais vous êtes d'accord avec Kamto depuis. Pas du MRC, pas de Kamto.
Can you never learn? Please be quiet while I'm
talking. Mais vous avez rien dit, mais ça fait 30 ans que
je n'ai rien dit.
Il veut que j'ai laissé les gens parler.
Voilà, je n'ai rien dit.
Monsieur,
on parle avec
tu es au pouvoir.
Finalement, excuse me, please. With all respect, Mr. Alex, that many persons who are seated in front of their TV stations to every evening to learn. When we talk the way we do, at the end of the day, nobody listens or gets anything. We are there to, it is also part of our political education now. So when it's your turn, you will talk. Let him talk.
Thank you, sir. I hope this time he will not interrupt me again. Let me answer something I heard from my brother Paddy.
Paddy Asanga, yeah.
Yes, I heard him say I would end up like Fru Johnson because I am supporting war draft. Please, so I don't know where you carry that one from. I have never drafted one kobo. If I have given one kobo to anybody, please, Mr. Asanga, put it on the table. Tell us where Ashu drafted 1 franc. I have never supported any armed group. Please take note, because you are talking. I don't understand where you get the information. On this very platform, we were here. I told the government to solve this crisis very fast because there is a war draft going on. Was I lying? Was there no war draft? There was a war draft going on. And while we were talking here, people of one camp were attacking me that I was advertising the draft. I said, no, I'm not. And while they were saying no money was drafted, we received on this very platform calls that were coming in and SMSs that gave us figures of the draft that were taking place in 5 countries. So Ashu does not support any draft.
Okay.
I support no war draft.
Okay.
Don't mix me with your things. So I am national president of Reform Party.
Okay.
My party is waxing very strong now. We are in the extreme north and the east. We have inaugurated our first external ward, foreign ward in Jamena. Next week it will be Bangui, and Kigali will follow suit. So please, don't mix me up in your fighting. I am not there. I am Republican. I have told you time without number that my party's point is that we should go back and sign the Union Treaty. Now, there was a question which he raised, because he asked for the solution, and let me give the solution before you take the mic from me. Now, the solution to this problem is that if an end is brought to the Anglophone crisis through negotiations, Cameroon is going to have we have to revisit the modus vivendi, which includes the institutions of the state. You are talking about electoral code. When we sit on the negotiation table, we shall look at the form of the state, the institutions of the state, the instruments that the state has to use.
Okay.
So electoral code will be one of them.
Okay.
The rightful thing to do is to sit on the negotiation table and not to ask people to go down the streets, because going down the street will not solve the Anglophone crisis. Going down the street will not give you an electoral code. At best, it will guarantee you a second term at Kondengui. If you want, try and see.
Okay, let's move over to the Southwest region to get the reaction or the contribution of Tiku Felix.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Kudos for the great job, and good evening to the entire panel. Mr. Leo, you know they say Cameroon is one and indivisible. Well, that Cameroon is one is something I really concur. I really accept Cameroon is one. But the aspect of indivisibility of Cameroon depends on how things are going to be run in the future. But for now, I know Cameroon is one but divisible. Since the binding factor that projects a form of indivisibility is the military aspects, the way they use the military in response to all crisis situations, the lies and a dictatorial form of leadership, all engulfed in greed.
Okay, we are going to come back to Tiku Felix, technical issue there. I get to you, Felix. No, not Felix. Felix was in Boya. Who can Professor Maurice Kamto or the MRC succeed without allies? That is, either other political parties like the Reform Party, the CPP, and a host of others, the civil society.
You see, the truth is they cannot succeed, and Political parties in Cameroon are ready to have allies, and President Paul Biya has always also have allies. Party
asking about MRC, not Paul Biya.
That talking about his own party.
Can Kamto and the MRC push forward this agenda without the assistance of others?
Of course, they will not have the assistance of any other political party, and they will not succeed, because most parties in Cameroon are Republican party, and there is no party that will support. Then I heard him talking about going to the street is democratic to express their view. To go to the street to express your view is different from going to the street to unseat a president. They are two different things. So when the representative of the Cameroon Renaissance movement is talking, he should not talk as if he's talking to children that don't reason. It is a right to demonstrate, to express your view, what you want to happen in the country. But going to the street to remove a sitting president is an act of terrorism, and it is a crime. And no political party will ever go to the street, support another political party to go to the street and unseat another president that have been elected constitutionally. So we should be open, we should be honest to be able to distinguish these two things to Cameroonians that are being deceived, that it is a right to go to the street to unseat a president. It is wrong. It is against the law. And anybody that goes will be judged according. Let me not even say that everybody that goes, because nobody would go. Cameroonians are Republican and they respect the constitution. Yes, some may criticize, they have the right to criticize, but we stick within the constitution of the Republic of Cameroon. This constitution was made when we got our independence, and the constitution is there. We stay within the constitution. So going to the street to unseat a president, it is a crime. Going to the street to express your view, your unsatisfaction is legal. But going to unseat a president is a crime, is an act of terrorism, and will be judged accordingly. So anyone that goes to the street for that agenda should be ready to face the law. When I said here that our military are doing their best in all other parts, everybody knows that. It is also true that we have stubborn military, yes, but everybody knows that the military of Cameroon is doing its best in all its fronts to bring peace. But when a representative of a political party insult the military of the Republic of Cameroon, I just ask myself question that what is this political party becoming? So we should be honest and say things the way they are. As it is there, the Cameroon Renaissance, the CPDM is not disturbed. There is nothing moving us. The president of the republic was voted by the masses. The people came out. La choix des peuples. They asked him and he stood and he was there and he was voted. And if any other political party, which obviously small political party, they want their voice to be heard, they should be able to sell their views to the people so that an election to take place. And rather than saying something else, we should be constitutional, respecting the law and stay within the law. Going to the street to express your view is correct, but going to unseat the president is criminal. Okay. I know that this leader of this political party was excited because of what happened in Mali, and he thought he could bring it in Cameroon. Unfortunately, the people of Cameroon love President Paul Biya so much, and nothing will ever happen in Cameroon. So let political parties go and prepare for election.
Okay, good evening to you, Paul Tabugo, and to you, Nange Pami. This one says, Engineer Derek Kwa, good evening to you. Jeanette Annie, good evening to you. And Entry Elv, good evening to you. And to all of you watching us via social media, we are very grateful that you are always there to follow our programs. And you says somebody was cut in the name of a technical hitch. I see no reason why somebody's cut. There was a technical hitch with what was happening. Good evening, Mr. Liu. It's Auntie Kate from Bamenda. I'm enjoying your program so much. Good evening to you, Auntie Kate. We are glad to know that you are enjoying the program from Bamenda. Our Kingsley. Good evening, Mr. Liu. I can see the barrister language has changed. I'm sure he needs a post, and we will give him one soon. At times, I think people only help to do publicity for the CRM. Our Kingsley is writing from Yaoundé. Fallacy of ambiguity. Insurrection can never be terrorism. Can Robert select his words wisely? Okay, that's my brother. Good evening to you. Good evening to you, Ali, watching us from the United States of America. This one says, good evening, Leo. Special greetings to all in the studio. Please inform Padia Sanga that he didn't represent the diaspora in the Measures National Dialogue. Rather, he was there for his personal interest. No diaspora forum sent him there. Okay, maybe he represented the SDF. Okay, Henry is writing from Stockholm. Good evening to you, Henry. Kikishi writing from Boya says political parties can either take power through the ballot box during fair elections or popular actions like street revolutions. In the case where electoral malpractices has become a rule, political parties can democratically take the street option. Okay, I don't know which African country where a political party took. For Burkina Faso, it was the civil society. In Mali, we saw it's the military. And I don't know which political party did it for Sudan, for the case of Sudan or in Zimbabwe. Good evening, dear panelists. For me, I think Maurice Kamto is just a failed politician who is trying to use the Anglophones as a shield to defend his interests. Nobeto Fernandez is writing from Bamenda. Hello, Barrister Ashu is speaking. Okay. Okay, Anthony Fonkem. I will not read any message that is insultive, please. Good evening, Mr. Leo. Where is the special status? Must the Northwest and Southwest go for the same elections at the same time? This is Oscar writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, everyone. Let us please remind the panelists that they are gentlemen. Okay, they got your message. Mr. Leo, good evening. My regards to Senior Barrister and Padia Sanga. Indeed, your panel is hot. Keep it up. Alain Bello writing from Nyasoso. Good evening to all of you guys watching us from Nyasoso, to the fan club there. Greetings, Mr. Kum Leonard, and to you all in the house. We love your program over here because it educates us over here so much. But today it has been, the studio has turned to a place where they come in and talk and behave as a political party, especially. Okay. Mohammed is writing from Morocco, Casablanca. Good evening to you, my friend. Good evening, my Mr. Leo. And Dr. Carl writing from Yaoundé. Please let there be some order in the panel. Okay, I hope you guys are getting the message just from those watching. Greetings, Mr. Leo. I'm enjoying the program tonight, but the panelists are not sticking to the topic, but rather insulting each other. I think, okay, if Mr. Kamto said President Biya was dead, it's because he's a ghost present. Okay. Okay, he says Kamto is manipulating Cameroonians. Hello, sir. Le MSC est une église parce que qu'il n'a pas d'élu. Reform Party est aussi une église. Simo is writing from Italy. Bonsoir, toi, Simo. Mr. Leo, the French guy, is bringing a lot of disorder. Okay, lots of messages. This one says, greetings to you all in the studio. The problem that would bring Cameroon down is lies telling from, okay. This one says, is built with lies. Kamto will be worse than the man in A2D because he has failed big time. Tony is writing from America. Salomon Ate says, I feel very sleepy, but not when it comes to during the program, especially when Senior Barrister Omar Shu is on the platform. Congrats, okay? Now, let us go over to Germany. Padia Sanga. we know how the Cameroon government operates. Is it going to be possible for a popular uprising to take place in this nation?
Mr. Leo, before I answer your question, if an uprising is going to take place in Cameroon,
yeah, because we know what response is going to come from the government.
Okay, before I answer that question, I first of all want to congratulate the barrister for taking clear stance from beheaders and enablers of hand beheadings like Ayabacho, Chris Anu, who they are making war draft. So I have understood that he was merely trying to tell the government that he is not part of those people and he is not going to support them in any way. And I'm happy that he has said that on this platform, because that created some confusion when he went on their platform and they started using him.
That statement was done on this. It was on this platform. It was on the, that yes. Statement was made on this platform
and copied.
Thank you. So, and those people were using him and they were saying it, but today he has come to correct it. And this is the barrister who was part of those people who wrote the constitution of the SDF, whom I am still a member, and I will respect him for taking those stands. Because living in the diaspora, I know that Ayabacho is going out there and saying that they should behead people like him, who say that they are Republicans and Cameroonians should sit and talk, they only want their own voice. So he has distanced himself from Chris Ano, who they say that it is a certain charger that belongs to him and Sako and John Ediwan, who killed that girl.
Can you now answer the question?
Congratulations. Now,
thank you.
I heard my friend from the MRC talking about Kawala. Kawala is my sister. We met with Kawala in Munich. The CPD, Cameroon Patriotic Diaspora, led by Eta Ewane, they organized a conference in Munich where Maitre Aliscom was invited, Kawala was invited, Maitre Slim was invited. Do you know people who came there to fight Kawala because Kawala was talking about a political transition? Do you know? They are the same people who are in Maurice Kamto's church. And I want this man who's sitting there and saying all those things to know that. Kawala has an audio when he went on a Facebook platform to somebody they call Max Seigneur Ivoire, and he organized what they call les grandes messes de samedi ou bien les grandes messes de vendredi. That already tells you that we are some kind of in an occultic or some kind of a religious grouping. And in that place, go and read the comments, what those people did to Kawala. And this man thinks that he can hang on Kawala's shoulder. Kawala doesn't believe in war. Kawala doesn't believe in insurrection. Kawala has a civil society movement and a political movement. And that civil society movement is called Stand Up for Cameroon. Stand Up for Cameroon has not pledged allegiance to Ambazonia. Stand Up for Cameroon has not said, on va acheter les armes pour envoyer à Field Marshal. Les mêmes gens qui ont acheté les armes pour envoyer à Field Marshal, qui ont dit ça, c'est les gens qui ont contribué au Cameroon Survival. Peut-être ce monsieur-là, that man, he doesn't know what he's talking about. So I should let him understand that. Now, when you talk about if insurrections is possible in Cameroon, I don't really think that what Maurice Kamto is saying he should be taken seriously, because I seriously believe that Maurice Kamto is merely praying for the gallery and is looking for a safe outing where he will say that j'ai fait appel au peuple camerounais, ils n'ont pas adhéré et moi je prends ma retraite. That is what I think is going to happen, because nobody believes in Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto is a product of the system and he cannot lead us better. Just look at his entourage. All people, everybody who's supporting Maurice Kamto is that. What Mr. Biya will do with Maurice Kamto, they already told you that they went to prison pour nouer les relations avec les têtes des ambazoniens. That's why they were locked up in prison. If you want to hear what Aya's friends are saying, the Ambazonian people, they are saying that Ayub Tabe has been impeached because he's in alliance with Maurice Kamto, and the proof is that Tassang Wilfred wrote a letter. So Maurice Kamto is just bluffing. If he does it, the system that he put in place, the laws that he did what they call toiletage, they are going to fall on him. Listen, Mr. Leo, there is something I'm going to say here. In my mind, please let me talk. in my mind, I'm very, very confused when I see somebody come and sit here and is telling me about Maurice Kamto. Maurice Kamto won the elections, the presidential elections, and became president élu in November 2018. But unfortunately, it seems as if along the line that the electoral code was changed and Maurice Kamto could not go in for the legislative and parliamentary elections. I'm saying this and I'm repeating it. The only inconsistent person who is a match to Maurice Kamto is Aya Paul Abine, who was one time a 10th state federalist, an Ambazonian, and now he's a Camptonian. Nobody will take that one from me. So if anybody is counting on Maurice Kamto is merely playing in Mr. Biya's game and to try to show those people whom he has frustrated, like my friend Frederick Sinjamin, like my friend Maitre Michel Doki. I have friends within the MRC. I don't hide that. In the CPDM, I have friends. In the SDF, I have friends. But you know what? Barrister Ashu, they wrote a very, very strong document for the SDF that we should go for the federation. And when the SDF or the chairman won the election in Cameroon, it was a union for change. People did not just sit on the internet and started calling people left and right that they should come and this. After they had made declarations, they started individualizing letters. You want to understand why most of them, people like Kamto and all those people who have served the system, they hate people like Ashu, they hate people like the SDF, because the SDF is actually telling them that during the last presidential elections, we should kill all the colonial institutions, and first starting with Enam. And you know the role that Enam has played in flooding elections in Cameroon. The problem we have in Cameroon is this hyper-Jacobini system that the SDF is saying we should go back to our local system where we had chiefs and house of chiefs. So we cannot be pretending here that Maurice Kamto has nothing to offer to the Cameroonian people. If his wife is eating sardine, he cannot be eating achu. It's a lie. Thank you.
Alex Ngepi, seemingly some persons are saying that Professor Maurice Kamto does not like Anglophones, but I cannot find any document, any instance that proves that he does not love Anglophones. Professor Maurice Kamto has always said that he wants the best for Cameroon as a nation. But since you are here, what is the solution that Professor Maurice Kamto has for the Anglophone crisis?
Oui, d'accord. Il faut dire, d'abord, avant de donner solution, dire que je suis offusqué. On me confirme là que les renseignements généraux comme travaillent mal. Car quand on se rend compte que leurs agents n'arrivent pas à s'entendre sur des questions aussi élémentaires et se trouvent en train de se tirer des coups de fusil et de part et d'autre, c'est regrettable.
Les agents ne...
Ceci étant dit, nous sommes conscients. Il faudrait que le peuple anglophone, même avant de répondre à cela, je vais dire quelque chose. Le professeur Kamto n'a jamais dit que Biya était mort. Il ne l'a jamais dit. Il faudrait qu'on soit clair dessus. Donc, ceux qui veulent venir ici créer un buzz peuvent créer un buzz. Mais le président du MRC, le professeur Kamto, le président élu, ne l'a jamais dit. Maintenant, qu'est-ce qu'on devrait faire pour les solutions? Tout ce que Assang a dit, tantôt les proches des Ambazoniens, tantôt les proches de l'État, tantôt les proches du RDF, tantôt ils défendent le CPP, finalement c'est même pas là où il est. Tellement vouloir manger à sardine, ça le rend un peu bizarre par moment. Mais qui se ressaisissent, le peuple anglophone est en train de l'écouter. Je vais dire comme solution, le MRC, nous avons clairement dit, on ne défie pas un peuple. On ne défie pas un peuple. Le peuple camerounais ne peut pas être mis en défiance. Quand cette affaire a commencé, dès 2016, les anglophones, les avocats ont commencé à manifester. On les a pris, on les a fouettés, on les a mis en prison. Aujourd'hui, voilà les crimes qui se font au Nozo. Des crimes énormes. Ça a commencé comme ça. Voilà le président Kamto qui dit, attention, la partie francophone pourrait aussi se soulever. Et on comprend les gens, je ne sais pas dire que c'est impossible. Les mêmes gens, on peut même dénier en 2016. Aujourd'hui, le Cameroun risque une partition à cause de ce déni. Du côté francophone, les mêmes problèmes sont en train de survenir. Des élections ont été mal organisées au Cameroun, où une personne a été élue et on a volé sa victoire. où le peuple n'a pas voulu prendre part aux élections, le boycott a été actif, ils ont dit on n'ira pas voter, les gens disent que non, c'est rien, c'est pas possible, ils ne peuvent rien faire. Mais je vais leur rappeler, j'ai dit qu'on a quand même donné l'accord d'organiser une manifestation. Si le MS ne pouvait rien faire, pourquoi est-ce que tous ces préfets-là, et sous-préfets, tous ces gouverneurs, passent le temps à interdire systématiquement toutes les manifestations du MRC? Pourquoi? Parce qu'ils savent que le peuple camerounais se reconnaît en un seul parti. C'est pas de la faute du président Kamto, c'est comme on l'aime. C'est les anglophones l'aiment. C'est pas de sa faute. Vous aurez beau dire tout ce que vous aurez dit, la preuve est que le MRC, avec son président, est le seul parti qui prend véritablement, l'un des rares partis, pour ne pas dire le seul, qui prend véritablement fait et cause pour les anglophones. Ceci étant dit, je vais dire quelque chose qui est important. La constitution camerounaise est mise en place par le peuple camerounais.
Oui.
Et quelqu'un a dit que se soulever pour chasser M. Biapol, c'est illégal, c'est un crime. C'est pas un crime. M. Biapol a créé cette crise anglophone. Il les a fait depuis 61. Il connaît ce problème. Il est haut fonctionnaire depuis 61, M. Biapol. Il a été nourri par le peuple camerounais, par nos aïeux qui étaient des cultivateurs, des planteurs. Il n'a jamais acheté une facture d'électricité, ni le pain de ses propres poches. Il ne sait pas si c'est conduire. Il ne sait pas si c'est conduire. Qu'on se le dise. Qu'on se le dise. Donc, on ne peut pas être avec un monsieur qui depuis 61 est nourri par le peuple camerounais et qui, à cause de lui, une partie du peuple camerounais est en train d'être tué, massacré, déporté, qu'il y a un génocide qui se passe là-bas. Et on continue à le prendre pour un dieu. Nous disons non. Ce qui est certain, si M. Biapol quitte le pouvoir, nous pensons même que cette crise peut s'arrêter. Qu'on ne se trompe pas. Oui. Les anglophones qui sont là, non, qu'on ne se trompe pas. C'est pour dire, non, la solution, ça peut être une solution comme M. Biapol.
Ok, c'est de l'enlever?
Non, pas enlever ou pas. M. Biapol peut laisser le pouvoir. Oui, quand vous aimez, si vous aimez votre pays,
quelle est la solution
si vous aimez votre pays, oui. C'est qu'il faut qu'on cultive l'amour. On a vu le Premier ministre japonais démissionner parce qu'il était malade. On l'a vu démissionner. Pourquoi est-ce que ce monsieur qui est là, qui a un âge, qui devait être une bibliothèque, continue à s'entêter de rester au pouvoir? Lorsque ce peuple souffre, tu vas mettre à parler de l'économie et tout ça. C'est vrai que sur ce point, il a raison. On devrait faire des débats sur l'économie. Comment faire pour lancer l'économie camerounaise? Pas sur ce problème existentiel. Okay. Donc c'est pour dire quoi? La solution. Le MRC a dit ceci. Nous le réitérons. Et Maître s'est contredit quand Maître a dit que non, il faudrait la forme de l'État est consommée. Tout ça passe par le dialogue. Nous disons ceci. Les Camerounais on doit discuter entre nous. Oui. Dans la solution, c'est que la résolution de la crise anglophone passe notamment par un véritable dialogue. Dans ce dialogue-là, serait forcément inclus le système électoral. C'est dans ce dialogue-là qu'on va permettre aux Camerounais de discuter sur la forme de l'État. Et d'ailleurs même, le MRC est fédéraliste. Il faut le signaler. Il faut qu'on le sache. Le MRC, auparavant, nous pensions qu'il fallait laisser les choix aux Camerounais de décider de la forme de l'État. Mais nous avons pris fait et cause pour le fédéralisme. Donc, que le frère anglophone le comprenne très bien. Nous sommes un parti, nous militons pour le fédéralisme au MRC. Okay. Le RDPC veut leur décentralisation. Et c'est ça, malgré tout ce qu'ils ont fait, qui est en train de tuer les anglophones. Okay. Parce que le fédéralisme est la seule forme de l'État qui va permettre que l'anglophone qui se trouve quelque part dans le village pourra décider de lui-même s'il faut construire un pont sans que ça vienne de Yaoundé, parce que c'est le véritable problème. Donc, nous sommes là pour des solutions et nous le disons toujours, cette crise anglophone devrait être résolue par des solutions politiques et non d'envoyer l'armée aux noseaux tuer d'autres Camerounais. C'est inadmissible qu'on prend mon argent, on paye les armes pour tuer d'autres Camerounais. C'est inadmissible. Et le MRC a prouvé que nous tuons le peuple anglophone. Le président Kamto a prouvé que le peuple anglophone. La preuve, nous sommes allés aux élections pour ce peuple-là. Combien de partis politiques? Nous étions sûrs. Vous êtes conscient que sur le MRC aux élections, le MRC aurait eu plusieurs élus. Mais le MRC a décidé de ne pas prendre aux élections pour cela. C'est un sacrifice ultime pour un parti politique, pour un homme politique, de savoir qu'il peut avoir des élus, mais de dire je n'y vais pas parce que je veux militer pour la cause du peuple. Le peuple camerounais, ce bas peuple qui souffre. Il faudrait un moment que ceux-là qui signent des accords avec le RDPC, qui passent le temps à chercher des marchés, des pots de vin, ils viennent vous dire, oh, le MRC est monté, le MRC est descendu. Ces gens ne vous aiment pas. La preuve, c'est que le MRC est combattu. Oui, c'est normal qu'on soit combattu, parce que la vérité au départ, on se moque de la vérité. Après, on combat cette vérité. Mais à la fin, on reconnaît que c'est une évidence. Et l'évidence, c'est que M. Blapoul a assez versé au sein des Camerounais. M. Blapoul devrait tout simplement même démissionner pour le bien du peuple camerounais.
C'est encore 10 minutes là. Okay, having burned all possibilities of taking part in the next presidential elections, because it's going to be difficult for Professor Maurice Kamto to even take part in presidential elections because he has no municipal councillor. Even presidential elections.
No, he can. He can.
But the conditions are not going to be very easy.
Through alliance, he can.
Now, through alliance, which means that he is going to submit under another party.
That's it. With a party that has
municipal councillors. Yeah. Okay, but that is as it stands. The MRC, as it stands, will be difficult for them to go for elections as MRC, presidential elections, and then municipal elections. They were not there. Municipal and legislative, they were not all there. Okay, is Professor Maurice Kamto left with no other option than to do this for his political survival? Because if you cannot go for presidential elections and then you don't have MPs, no mayors, what else is there to fight for?
You see, I said it earlier that he was trying to remain relevant. But I think he is doing it the wrong way, because it would have been better for him to engage in the educative part.
Okay.
You see how my friend here has honestly recognized that, yes, I have raised some points, economic points, that would have been the subject of discussion. You see, it would have been better for him to raise the content of his plan of action, put it in front of the public. Let us discuss it and convince the people that, look, if you give me this country, I will run it properly. They are not doing that. You see.
Maître,
oh my
nous
God.
avons notre
Here he comes again.
On a cela.
Here he comes
Arrêtez
again.
de mentir. On a un peu de société. On a cela dans notre société, maître.
Oh là là.
On a notre société. Soyez honnête avec vous-même.
Please, look. Just try to respect this channel, please. We like order here. We like order. You see?
Mais faut pas trop mentir.
We like order.
It looks like
you don't understand what I'm saying. We like.
Mentez un peu, pas beaucoup.
We like order. It looks like you don't understand what I'm saying.
On vous connaît là-bas. Vous êtes de gros menteurs. Mentez un peu. Dites la vérité au peuple camerounais.
Ouais, je suis président national de Réforme Parti.
Mentez un peu.
Quand je te donne un peu d'informations, tu prends ça.
Quelle information?
Tu mets sur la
le mensonge du peuple camerounais.
Tu as compris Padé Assanga qui est du SDF confirmé depuis l'Allemagne.
Renseignez-vous avant il cherche un peu de vin.
S'il vous plaît.
Mais il était ici, il descend le monde. Il cherche quoi?
S'il vous plaît.
Il cherche quoi, maître? Vous savez ce qu'il cherche? C'est peu de vin.
Nous autres là, on aime l'ordre. Ce que vous faites là ne nous ressemble pas.
Et au sud-ouest, il y a l'autre. Au nord, il y a l'autre.
Oui. Je peux continuer. Nous ne sommes pas sur l'équinoxe ici là. Pardon. Ici, nous
gentleman's forum.
It's a gentleman's forum. Allow people talk. They will give you your own time to talk. You just spoke for 10 minutes. Nobody interrupted
Everybody's
you.
talking for
When I want to talk now, you get up like a lion to stop me from showing you a rightful position, which is right down there. Yeah, you don't. Please look. I have the duty to show you a place. You see, Mr. Leo, as we were saying, I was saying that to me, he is trying to remain relevant. Because like Kedia said, for once I will agree with him. Kedia said, I don't see him succeeding in unseating Mr. Biya through street uprising. Gentlemen, maybe you see, we have a lot of education to do here. When you say street rising, I want you to take a look at other African countries where it has happened. Let's start with Algeria. Everybody in Algeria came out and went to the street. Doctors, lawyers, everybody, mechanic school children, everybody was in the streets. And the president was forced, when he saw it himself, said no. Even soldiers were there, police were, everybody was in the streets. A mob, an angry mob has no leader. So I don't know whether you reflect well. You want to be the leader of a mob? How is that possible? It's not possible. So create a situation where all Cameroonians will be so angry that they will get down to the street and say, down Mr. Biya, we don't want him anymore.
Yeah, but that is exactly what Celestin Jamin said.
I say he should create a situation where we all go down to the street and say, we don't want this money. But they don't create that situation. They don't, because there are problems there. Had they got the love of the people, you remember last time that he was arrested, you saw how many people were with him. These people, they confuse euphoria and popularity. Euphoria is different from popularity. Somebody is passing there with some interesting people who come out and say, oh, what is it? Oh. Hey, that's euphoria. Popularity, we love this man. We can do things for him. When he says go, you saw in the days of John Fundi. That was a popular leader. John Fundi, when he announced that he was coming to do that, people came out because they loved him. It was not euphoria. It went on for years and years. But MRC, they don't want to understand that the small people who were behind them have lost this, have given up the support. Many people have dropped CRM as a political party because of the inconsistencies. I remember the leader said he will be the last person to leave the prison. But I was surprised to see that he was the first to take the road out. Leave his people in the prison. He was the first. I mean, he's so inconsistent. This young man said again that, look, politically he should go to some school. I don't want to indicate the school, but in fact, he is right. No, so when you look at this thing, I would have thought that a man of his standing, who has a lot of knowledge in the resolution of international conflicts, would show the government the right route. I have been doing the work that Mr. Kamto ought to have been doing. I am the one who has gone down to dig up history, dig up the international instruments, and say this is what prevails. This is what happened. CRM has never come up with a single program where they have said, this is the real situation, please, this is what we can do. I only come up with proposals. I don't take sides. They were saying that we attack CRM. For what? I don't attack CRM. I call on you, Mr. CRM. Respect the law. Abide by the law. You cannot be a citizen in a lawless state.
People is the law.
Oh my God. Here he comes again.
You know.
Okay.
You know.
No. Is the CPDM so weak that the CRM will use a popular uprising to topple its national president?
You see, the CPDM party has been there for long because the people love them and they are voting them. You see, my national president, when we say c'est pas qui veut, c'est qui peut, is who can do it, who can gain the popularity of the people. You convince the people. The ballot box, that's democracy. That's why you see our party, we are not even moved by this. We communicate all the time, we talk about it because you journalists decide the topic. Because when I was coming, I was hoping that maybe one day we should be talking about back to school, what is happening.
No, it's coming up very soon.
Now when we talk about a political party who is acting now like a civil society, no base, nothing, I don't know what to say. But the CPDM party is very organized. We have already structured, we are thinking about the regional elections. We have put in place everything and believe that any other party should be preparing before time. That is politics. You organize yourself, you prepare before time. A good reasonable party, be it opposition or any party, should be preparing now for the next election. Not doing to create disorder within the people. No, this is the time for you to sell your idea. If you have councillors, and their chiefs also that will be there. You do your campaign, you discuss, you do your things to convince them to vote for you. If you will not go in for this regional election, think about presidential election. Start to say your ideology. Cameroonians are very educated. Now it's not for you to stand and shout to make people follow you. You bring your agenda, you convince them, and they'll follow you. That is what I am expecting the Cameroon Renaissance movement to do. They should at least learn. They should learn. If they don't want to learn from the CPTM, at least they should learn from Cabral, Biya, and the other guys. They will teach them.
Okay, before I get back to you, Paddy Asanga, one question for Alex Ngepi. Alex Ngepi, now, if regional elections are called and Cameroonians don't get to the streets, and then in the future, are you going to take part in elections in Cameroon?
Cameroun, les Camerounais vont aller dans la rue.
Mais s'ils ne vont pas.
Non, ils iront.
Okay.
On peut le rassurer. Nous mettons au défi cet gouvernant d'organiser ces élections. Ils verront les Camerounais, ils verront la loi. La loi, c'est le peuple. Le peuple va descendre et va empêcher, et va user de son droit le plus absolu. Il faudrait qu'on dise aux gens. Et si le soulèvement populaire, hein, c'est la force la plus absolue que le peuple a quand il n'est pas content des résultats d'un régime. Quand je suis sur le RDP, c'est dire que non, arrête.
C'est pas. Moi, je voulais juste que tu répondes.
Les Camerounais vont sortir. Oui. Je les ai mis au défi.
Et s'ils ne sortent pas,
mais il n'y a pas de si, ils vont sortir.
Ok.
Ils sortiront.
Ok. Paddy Asanga, now, can Kamto opt for an Anglophone to lead any of his moves to show that he loves Anglophones so much, because that is what many persons have been talking about?
Well, I don't know. I cannot answer that question because.
Do you see? You are a political activist who, at least you read how things are being done.
But let me tell you something. If it is not Kamto, it is nobody, and it proved itself during the municipal and legislative election. Since he knew that he was not going to be the president of Cameroon, he destroyed the careers of many other people who were aspiring to be elected officials in Cameroon. Kamto is a very, very greedy, self-centered person. You remember an example, when I give example, he's taking credit for Bakassi and all that stuff, but he's forgetting about Professor Tamak of blessed memory. He's forgetting about General Tato. Professor Tamak is actually the Pope of common law. That's the father of Tamak, who was playing in the national team. Then you have also Barrister Akeremuna, who's very, very humble. And I want to tell our panelists from the MRC that me and my brother, Barrister Ashu, we have ironed out our differences. There was a bit of confusion in the air because we know how we Anglophones we do things. So he should come here with the gentleman's way of doing things and not that disorderliness and incongruity. But expecting Kamto to lead an Anglophone, let an Anglophone lead his political party, forget about it. It will never happen. You want to understand that people like Larindo, we don't hear them, but that's the Secretary General of the MRC. He's just a figure placed there to speak English or go and do the dirty job that he was trying to do in prisons to hijack the Anglophone crisis with the aid of other Anglophones who have worked in the judicial system of Cameroon. Barrister Ashu will not contradict me about that. And I'm happy that you are bringing out this question. Now, when you say that we are looking for solutions, let it be clear that the Anglophone solution starts with the Anglophone sitting together so Kamto can shut up and that man who is sitting there should go aside. They are one of those people who went behind and encouraged people to sabotage the Anglophone General Conference. And Anglophone, there must be an Anglophone intra discussion. Without people like Kamto and all those people he's trying to manipulate left and right, it's not going to happen. Anglophones are not going to. That's the least we can concede. I am very angry with my brothers out here, but it doesn't mean that we can't reconcile ourselves. So any political scavenger who is trying to come in to say that he lost Anglophones, whereas when the Anglophones wanted a spillover so that the Anglophone crisis should be a replica of the 1990, he refused and he should answer his name, he should confirm the code. Anglophones shall not the Anglophone struggle shall not be sold to another Jacobin. Mr. Biya knows that problem. Kamto knows that problem. What about the assimilation? When Mr. Biya said they were trying to assimilate Anglophone, did Kamto not know that everybody who is appointed a minister in Mr. Biya's government knows the project, and the project is to assimilate Anglophones? I am not happy to be an Anglophone, but I did not choose also to be an Anglophone. I am, and if that man is speaking in French, he should never come here and say that there is no Anglophone problem, as most of them are running their mouths and saying. No, there are two political entities that came together. One with a common law and their system of education, and one with the Napoleonian law, what they call the civil law today, with their own system of education. I got to the University of Yaoundé with GCE advanced level, and my compares were coming with back. So we have two post-colonial political identity that must be respected, and that is what the SDF was talking about, unity in diversity. So this man who is sitting here, he's at the wrong place at the wrong time, and he should be able to accept defeat and know that, yes, people of Maurice Kamto's church, because he has transformed a political party to a church or an NGO, they might come out, but that will not respect the aspirations of Cameroonians. Thank you.
Ok, oui, Alex.
Oui, je vais dire tout à l'heure, ce monsieur-là qui est du SDF passe autant à dire que N'Djamène aurait fait ceci, aurait fait cela. Mais je pense que Nietzsche a demandé que les gens vont dans la rue, que les gens soutiennent le président Kamto s'il y a élection régionale. Mais en même temps, lui, il est contre cela. Donc, si on doit même dire cela, c'est même très surprenant que je ne sais même pas si d'abord au SDF, s'il a contacté au moins Nietzsche ou bien Wafo qui mandate des gens officiellement pour le faire, ou bien qu'il passe son nom propre du SDF, je ne sais pas.
Oui, mais il y a aussi cette dissonance parce que dès que Nietzsche a dit cela le lendemain, Joshua aussi a dit qu'on prend le pouvoir par les unes. Hein.
Oui, mais c'est ça que je dis, donc, mais lui qui est le vice-président, c'est pour dire quoi? C'est pour dire quoi? Tout à l'heure, il voulait faire croire que au MRC, le président Kamto et le directeur ont sorti une décision qui n'arrangerait pas
tout le monde.
Jamais, mais lui, au SDF, c'est ce qui se passe chez eux. Qu'est-ce qu'il dit de cela? Voir des gens qui sont là en train de chercher leurs intérêts personnels parce qu'il faudrait qu'ils viennent au Cameroun, on leur donne un petit véhicule, une petite maison, et ils veulent marcher sur le stand des anglophones, des Camerounais. Nous disons non. C'est gens comme M. Assango là, c'est Assango je crois. Assanga, comme M. Assanga là. Vous devez avoir honte, sincèrement. Aujourd'hui, au Cameroun, les Camerounais ont trop souffert. Vous tantôt vous flattez, ne reformez pas, d'abord vous tirez sur lui, après vous le flattez le RDP. Tout ce que vous avez dit là, vous avez dit quoi contre M. Biya? Rien. Rien. Vous n'avez rien dit dans l'émission là. Que M. Biya a fait cela, non. Votre problème c'est le MRC. Parce que vous vouliez simplement avoir quelque chose du RDP. Mais le peuple camerounais n'est pas fou, il n'est pas dupe. Les anglophones sont très intelligents. Je dis bien et je réitère. M. Biya pour nous au MRC. Nous lui avons donné cette humanité. On lui a dit, s'il organise des élections régionales, alors il aura le peuple camerounais en face. Et voilà pourquoi est-ce que le gouvernement camerounais, ce gouvernement illégitime, est en train de tout faire, distribuer de l'argent. Ils sortent dans les Camerounais, ils distribuent partout. Ils montent des campagnes de désinformation. Les Camerounais souffrent. Monsieur, je suis d'accord avec vous, je vous réitère encore. En principe, la politique, on devrait être en train de battre, en débat sur le programme économique et non sur l'ordre existentiel. Tout à l'heure, vous avez dit, qu'est-ce que le MRC propose pour créer de l'emploi? N'est-ce pas? Oui. Je vais vous dire quelque chose, Maître Achou.
Vous avez 2 minutes, hein? Oui. Parce que
pour créer l'emploi, il faut penser à relancer l'économie. Car créer l'emploi, ici, il faut d'abord qu'on ait un plan de relance économique sur l'investissement. Et pour qu'il y ait investissement, il faut qu'on ait le contrôle de notre planche à billets. C'est quand on aurait mis les investissements sur pied, dans ce cas particulier, des emplois pourront être créés parce qu'il y a des entreprises qui auront besoin de la main-d'œuvre. Mais avec le système diapole actuellement, où notre monnaie est détenue par la France, nous au MRC, nous avons pu dénoncer cela. Et nous continuons à dénoncer cela. Voilà pourquoi nous estimons que M. Biapol a dit de lui-même, je suis le meilleur élève de la France. C'est lui qui l'a dit. Ce n'est pas Kamto qui l'a dit.
Okay.
Et M. Biapol a été mis au pouvoir par le RD, par la France.
Okay.
Aujourd'hui, les Camerounais veulent leur entière liberté. Et le seul parti qui est à mesure de leur accorder ça, c'est le MRC. Et nous demandons justement aux d'autres partis politiques, au problème de Réforme Parti, de laisser un peu sa haine viscérale qu'il a contre le président Kamto, de regarder l'intérêt supérieur de la nation, du peuple camerounais, et de s'allier à ce mouvement-là, afin qu'on puisse libérer le Cameroun de cette inforfaiture.
Okay. Now, if Cameroonians were to move to the streets, it is true. My brother, who is writing from the United States of America, Ali, says that comparing insurrection in Cameroon with what is obtaining in other countries is not good, or it's not possible. What do you think should be the posture of other political parties with respect to the coming regional elections, like yourself?
Well, our position is clear. Let those who are relevant to the elections participate.
Okay.
Those who, because it's an election wherein it is councillors who are the electorate.
Divisional delegates.
Let the councillors do their job. And you see, many people ask CPDM, where is the special status? You can have no special status if you don't have these regional elections. Although I say, even when they put the special status, it's an empty thing. But at least give them the opportunity to put in place their
the
special
structures.
status.
Okay.
Yes, that's it. If there are no elections, you cannot even have the special status put in place. So it is something that is provided by the law. It has to be carried out. So that's why I personally think that we who are not going to be actors, let us allow the actors to conduct their election and allow government to do its job
and lay the foundation.
Lay the foundation. Now, please just allow me one minute. In answer to your question, where you asked him what was MRC's solution
to the Anglophone crisis,
he said it was federalism. Now, let me make this abundantly clear. In federalism, you have two states. You have the federated states and you have the federal state. If the Anglophones are in this trouble today, it is because of federalism. Because the federal state has overwhelming powers over the federated states. Make no mistake. The federal state will override the decisions of the federated states. And that is the reason why Yaoundé could come to Biya and do whatever thing it pleased. That's the reason. So if you send us back to federalism, you are not solving anything. The real solution is confederation, not federalism, because please, when it comes back to you, when it comes back to you, you
c'est
answer.
la même chose.
la
même chose.
You see, I had my co-panelists talking about the fact that President Paul Biya says Meilleur élève de la France, and he's talking about the Fcfa. The contract for the Fcfa got finished. It has not been renewed because the President of the Republic does not want to say the future of Cameroonians. And we know many contracts that was signed during independence that has not been renewed. But we know the leader of the political party that went to Europe, moved to all countries in Europe, ran away from election, and was doing lobbying on how they will sell Cameroon. So we should be honest and we should say all these things. We know political party leaders that are going in Europe from one country to another doing lobbying how they will sell this country. But the head of state is there to protect the interests of his people. He does not have a personal interest. The head of state does not have a personal interest, but the interest of Cameroonian, and that is what he is doing. About the special status we were talking about, yes, some people will say that there is no context within the special status, but I just want to tell my brothers in the Northwest and Southwest region that if actually there is nothing in that special status, then the Grand Nord will not be asking for that special status. If they are asking for it, it's because they have seen something good in it. That's why they are asking for it. So we are supposed to be honest.
Yeah, but
for me to conclude now, I'll end up to say that in democracy, when institutions are being given, grab the institution and empower the institution. So I will tell my brothers in the South that let us take the special status and empower it. They are the force of the people.
And empower it. Paddy Asanga, I'll end these discussions with you. What is the position of the political activists that you are with respect to the coming regional elections?
Yes, Mr. Leo, I want to thank you very much, and I want to congratulate the panelists. I also want to do some rectifications because I heard my brother, who is from the Jacobinist State Party, CPDM, saying that the Grand North is asking for a special status. He should tell me which are the institutions that the Grand North came in with, and when did the Grand North voted to be part of Cameroon. So if he can answer me that question, then we should better go and look for that part of northern Cameroons that went to Nigeria. So we came into the union with some specificity, and that is unique to the Anglophone Cameroon. So he should stop running his mouth when nothing comes out. Now, coming to your question, take it again, because in my diatribe, some people will call it that way because I like to say it the way it is. But please, take your question again.
Your position with respect to the coming regional elections.
Let me be very honest to you. People who have stakes at the regional election should go for the regional elections, and people who don't have stakes should not go for the regional elections. And political parties who don't have council. Company, the CPDM should not go for those regional elections. You know that regional elections has to do with councillors and elected officials, chiefs, and so on and so forth. And most of those things by boycott, by that they call for boycott from Maurice Kamto and the Amber, they permitted the CPDM to have the overwhelming majority. So they should be clapping for themselves that the CPDM now is very strong in the north and southwest region, while pretending that they love the Anglophones, whereas they should have been in parliament crying, "You must sing, we must kill, retire," like the SDF did. And you can hear from my friend and my brother, a very humble gentleman, Barrister Ashu, telling you people that that's where the stakes are. So for me, I don't like to be seen being an accomplice or being accompanying the CPDM, but I would do it in a Republican style, and I will go in when I know that I'm going to win. And if I know that I'm not going to win, I'm not going to go in for that. But if it has to be that I will be tagged as a terrorist, or I will be seen as anti-Republican, then I would go. Because going in for regional elections now depends on the stakes. But you know what? From the SDF perspective, from my own analysis, I'm not talking as a member of the SDF now, but that's my own analysis, because the SDF has an instance that decides what it does. It is very, very clear that the stakes are not in favor of them going there, because to be a Republican Party and to be active, you don't necessarily need to go to those regional elections, but you already have at least one elected official that will permit you, just in case you have to go or Mr. Biya resign and they have to recall elections, for you to run for presidential elections, which is the highest office. For now, that is the law of the land. We are complying to it, and then we'll work and put out strategies within that. That is my own analysis. And if the SDF comes to me and say, "Mr. Basketmouth Paddy Asanga, what do you think?" that is what I'm going to tell them, Mr. Liu. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Paddy Asanga. We want to say thank you to you for coming, the representative of allengagedcitizens for the MRC.
Oui, merci à tous qui nous ont suivis. Vous avez tous seulement remarqué vous-même que les gens n'arrivent pas à garder une position. Voilà ceux du RDF. Tantôt, il a le RDP.
Non, on n'a pas ce temps-là.
Merci. Les Camerounais restés focus. Le MRC est le seul et l'un des rares partis. Nous disons toujours, nous sommes un peu anglophones et on doit résoudre ce problème. On doit discuter entre nous et trouver des solutions.
Senior Barrister, thank you for coming to talking to our televiewers.
Thank you, Mr. Liu. Next time.
Okay, and
wish me happy birthday.
and to you, thank you for coming, Robert.
Thank you very much. Good night to all Cameroonians, especially Barrister Julius.
Ashu Emmanuel.
No,
Okay,
Ashu
Barrister.
Julius.
Actually, Julius.
Okay, Barrister Ashu Julius.
This is party.
Okay, we should be watching us. Okay, we want to thank you all who watch us. Paddy Asanga, thank you for participating. Paddy Asanga is gone. Okay, we want to thank everybody for watching, and to the production team. We also want to seize this opportunity to wish a very special happy birthday to you, Senior Barrister Ashu Emmanuel. We hope you are taking the crew somewhere to continue with the celebration. Stay blessed. Bye-bye. Wow.